In today's video, I am going to be ranking every Ninjago season, part 1 and 2. Altogether, there's 6 of them, and basically, to be fair, every one of them is basically a whole season at this point. Also, just so no one comments down below, this idea is taken from Tanner Fishies. I was probably going to rank them in seasons in general without the part, but I am getting inspiration from him, from ranking these. My ranking's probably different, honestly. I haven't really checked his video. I just saw it on my basically notifications. So yes. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. Coming in at number 6 is Ninjago Dragon Rising Season 3 Part 1. Now, in my opinion, of course these are all my opinions, Season 3 Part 1, there's a couple things I'm really annoyed with. Also, just because they're on this list, by the way, and this is the worst on this list, doesn't mean it's a bad season. Regardless, it's probably better than a decent bit of the actual Ninjago seasons in the main show. I would have to go back and look, because honestly, I can't remember anything realistically right now. Anyway, in the season, basically, we've got the Forbidden 5, yeah, and they are decently themed. We've got Zart getting beat to a pulp for no apparent reason. Then again, he was outnumbered, fair enough, right? The prismatic blades literally just get teleported basically to random locations. Well, they're not teleported, but for we got them in a puppet, right? It feels like they didn't really know where to put the prismatic blades. It could have been easily cool to have some prismatic blades in some locations we've seen throughout Dragon Rising or whatever, and just have them placed there. Or in general, the one thing that I'm really annoyed about is just Raz having a prismatic blade out randomly. He pulled that out of nowhere, like literally. Also, to be honest, the Forbidden 5 were just used by Thunderfang, considering the fact that Season 2, the whole of Season 2 basically set up the Forbidden 5 as some great overall villain. But to be honest, Thunderfang obviously using them from the start, it just felt really drawn out. The fact that the Forbidden 5, like, we obviously saw Not. The Not was pretty intimidating and all of that. That was great in Season 2. But the fact that in Season 3, Not is still himself, of course, but the other members of the Forbidden 5, we don't even know them. We don't really get to use them. And they go straight to action with Zart getting completely beat up. And he's basically not a threat to Ninja in this Season 3 Part 1. It was really annoying. He just basically was the J of the group from other seasons, I guess. Yeah, that was really annoying throughout that whole part. And then you have obviously him getting thrown around by Rox, making Rox established. Obviously, we know Rox is the leader. In my opinion, Rox wasn't even the main one I even cared for. Drix is the main one for them. 5 in the season. I still really like their scenes, their fight scenes. Don't get me wrong, especially Drix versus the Ninja. It was really good. And then we got Thunderfang. He been defeated by Eren, obviously learning from Moro that this thing can basically bring souls back or something like that. And then throwing souls in there and all that. Now, don't get me wrong, there's fun to see old characters returning like Moro and stuff. And the fact that, personally, I just do hate the whole evil Eren arc. So this is also probably why it's down here. Now, some people like it. I haven't really seen people diss it that much, to be fair. So this could just be my thing. But it's also the reason he betrays basically Ninja, right? This could be in its own for another part. But the fact that he betrays the Ninja for literally, one for Lloyd basically working under someone he's Master Wu, who apparently caused the merge, which you still don't know why or what happened. And the fact that he got angry at Sora for literally helping him. But that's the main thing that pushed me off his character. He got angry at Sora for using object spin jitsu. It made him happy, and he was consistently complaining throughout that whole season 2 Part 1, not being able to use spin jitsu. And the fact that Sora helped him with something that he wasn't good at made him happy, and he was actually trying and actually happy about it. And then he pushes her away because he lied to him and he can't trust her. But then you gotta trust Raz. It just made me really annoyed the whole season. I will say Season 3 Part 1, I did love what they did with Jay and all that. That was honestly really great. I did like the whole rogue identity. It doesn't get referenced as Rogue, but I did like that. Like I said, just because it's on the list as number 6, it doesn't mean it's a bad season. It just means it's worst of the 3 parts. Of the other parts, in my opinion, of course, you can feel free to disagree with me in the comments. This is my opinion. Comment number 5 is Ninjago Dragon Rising Season 2 Part 2. Honestly, this whole Season 2 Part 2 was just a tournament thing, is the main thing. And in the last, 2 episodes, we got Raz's plan, and then Raz getting betrayed by Notch. Which honestly, I actually really loved Notch betraying Raz. But I feel like Season 2 Part 2, it was probably the most idiotic thing of Raz. Even Notch calls it out, of him putting Notch up against the Master of Technology, even knowing if Notch does win, he'll have technology as a power, meaning he can take off the control chip on him. It was really idiotic. But then again, I don't know what to say about that. The one thing I will say about the season, I really do love the whole tournament. That's the thing that carries this season a lot. There is this side part with Blett being a traitor and all that. Not for once, I thought it was like Roby betrays everyone. They were saying it up as like Roby might be a traitor or rigging the games. No, it was Blett. It was relatively obvious. Even from the moment I saw Blett, I was like, yeah, he's probably a traitor. He's like the whole season is like, yeah, who could betray me? Then Wildfire ends up showing up and telling everyone's saying Blett is the traitor. Blett has betrayed you, and it's in his journal and stuff. One, why the heck do you write this all down? Second of all, I don't know anyone or seen anyone talk about this who was surprised by the fact that Blett was a traitor. Well, except from Roby, I guess. But other than that, yeah, and the whole fight between Kai and Notch, and the Wrestling Ninjas is really good. The only thing I hate about the season, well, the main thing is just that Aaron suddenly becoming annoyed and stuff. For example, I get the fact that he's angry that Wu might have caused the merge, and especially when Wu, for some reason, seems like literally said he caused the merge, and wants there to be something on the lines of, oh, I thought I caused the merge, or it was definitely my fault, and it had nothing to do with him at all. It's going to be super annoying because Master Wu's always like that, to be honest, and it actually really annoys me. But the fact that Aaron basically, caused the merge, I can't trust Sora because Sora betrayed me for not telling me the truth and for lying to me, and I can't trust Lloyd, even though Lloyd has something to do with his uncle, right? Lloyd has something to do with his uncle. He can't trust Lloyd because his uncle caused the merge, which we don't really know is fully true. Master Wu's spirit did, although Master Wu's spirit, Wu should have just lied. It makes no sense to tell Aaron the truth, even though he's knowing this unstable. But that's all in that. I did like the whole thing that Jordana actually is probably the main bit I liked about her in the season. I say her, it's basically her fighting off Rox's control over her, and Sora and Jordana's relationship. That was really good in my opinion. I did like that a lot. Last thing I will say about the season, about Season 2 Part 2, is the fact that Jay and Nia's fight was 100% my most favourite fight during the whole tournament. Of course, and it's probably still one of my favourite fights in Dragon Rising. It's just generally really good. It was another Jay left, but the whole fight between Nia and Jay was really good. Also, I just love seeing edits on that fight scene. It just makes for such a great thing, especially considering he got more screen time than he did in this bit. Than he did, I think, basically Season 2 Part 1 and Season 1 Part 1 and 2, right? He got more screen time than he did in any of them. And I just loved it for what we got of him. Well, Season 1 Part 2. I just love it for what we got of him. In general, this was the main thing. It was also, it did hurt to see that Nia and Jay fighting, but at the same time, I loved the whole fight scene. Okay, that's the last thing I'll talk about the season with. Comment number 4 is Ninjago Dragon Rising Season 1 Part 2. Now the whole plot of this whole season, whole part, is simply because these little balls that can stop the merge stuff, which I'm really annoyed we didn't get, it didn't just continue throughout the whole seasons, because I would have loved that would continue through the whole of Dragon Rising. I thought it would just be a regular occurrence. They would have to slowly stop, and eventually that would be the greater risk. Unfortunately, that is not the case. That would have been pretty cool, to be fair. If there was like barely a way to stop them, or they didn't know of a way to stop them. But because it was really unstable in season, basically in this whole season, they have to collect balls to stabilize the merge crates, the merge rifts that keep appearing, and that's creating the whole plot. Which honestly, I didn't really like the plot all that much. It was just pretty easy stuff. They just kind of scattered and looked for little balls. I believe the Spirit Temple did that, help them find the locations at the very least. I can't remember exactly. The main episodes I'll say I liked this season is the fact that we got Jay back. His little 30-second clip of him just talking at the administration was enough for me to do a bunch of videos just talking about what he's up to and whatnot. I really loved that. And if he's good in Dragon Rising, if he's not good in Dragon Rising. And it was also theorizing why he worked in administration until we later got revealed I'll say about a month or like a week after Dragon Rising season 1, part 2. We kind of realized he has no memory. I think it was revealed in a magazine, but people just took that, and they're not normally always correct, but this time it was kind of correct. And basically, that was really nice. It was nice to have a Cole for a whole episode. Also, Cole's return was really good with the Land of Lost Things, with Geo and all that. Geo and the Finders. They were really nice. The first introduction to them was really great. I love that. Also, this is the part we meet Aracor. We should say I love Aracor as a character. I did also love Nanocon as a character. Although Nanocon's a bit creepy, especially when you rewatch certain parts of Skybound. It is so off-putting sometimes. But yeah, Aracor, this is the first time me, and we also, Neo also mentions I thought Ninjago was destroyed because of Ninjago was destroyed when the preeminent fell, the cursed realm fell or whatever. When that fell, Ninjago got destroyed over that because if one sister realm falls, the one next to it will follow or something like that. All in all, I do love a bunch of characters in this thingy. The only one I wouldn't say is Diorama, the one who Diorama and his puppet. I think I'm saying his name correct. I have no idea. He's probably the main Dragon Rising character I will say I can live without. And he actually hasn't returned in season 2 or season 3. We're lucky. Like, some people complain about Raptor keeps coming back. I don't mind Raptor Diorama. I cannot stand. And he doesn't appear anything other than his puppet appears in season 3 and he's mentioned season 3. But that's about all. I'm pretty sure he hasn't appeared past season 1 from what I'm remembering. I could be completely wrong in that regard, by the way. I have no idea. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he doesn't appear part of season 1. But all in all, the whole quest to collect the thingies, and then eventually the little balls, eventually Empress Beatrix has a big fight because she ends up tricking him into the ball. But Raptor ends up swapping the balls without her knowledge, and yeah, all that kind of happens. The fight scenes was like, the whole finale I didn't really care for much, to be honest. And then, but at the end of Dragon Rising season 1, part 2, we basically got all the ninjas technically reunited, right? But then the only ninja we don't have reunited, or even the ninjas haven't even met, is Jay. Which honestly, I loved theorizing what's going on with Jay and listening to theories about it. It was really a nice time. But that's in here for that reason. Now coming in number 3 is Ninjago Dragon Rising Season 3 Part 2. Now, some people may feel weird, or why am I putting Season 3 Part 2 up here? There's more reasons, but one of them being the fact that I'm a really big Jay fan. Jay's been my favourite character ever since literally the pilots, and the fact that Jay gets more screen time in this is great, and he's top character throughout the season is really great. Now, yes, I will say the Forbidden Five do look cool, and I do like when they're on screen, they do look pretty cool. But they're pretty useless, so it's Thunder Fang, I would say. Thunder Fang vs. Focus Dragon, I didn't really care for much, I would say. But throughout the season, I kind of focused more on the individual fights from the Forbidden Fight with like Kerr versus Sora, Thrak, and who else was there? Wildfire, and Zark versus Kai and Nia. Those fights were more interesting to me than basically Lloyd and Aaron trying to focus to defeat Thunderfang. Like, honestly, that whole fight, it's like a side thing. I would say the season Lee is probably the best kind of villain. I say villain like that because realistically, he's probably going to be a good character if we ever see him again. But as of right now, he is a villain. He's pretty freaky too. Like, honestly, a great villain. Basically told everyone that the outside wall is destroyed and he's keeping everyone here not against their will because they want to stay, because of he's basically just said the outside wall is destroyed. You can't have to stay down here and be friends forever. I will say a lot of stuff in the Land of Lee. Like, some people may think it's slow and stuff. It's really just good, and it's also nice not to have consistent action. Like, basically episode 13 of season 3 was just them basically relaxing into the Land of Lee, and at the end they get captured by Lee, and Nia and Jay have some great moments this season. Jay is finally technically back, and I can not wait for season 4 for that. But also the fact that, like, there's a bunch of stuff. We got Aaron and Lloyd reconciling. They're basically making up, right? We got Aaron for finally, so we have to focus on this for another season, finding his parents. Let's say hopefully nothing bad happens to them. Can only find out in season 4. Hopefully nothing bad happens to them, because now Aaron will be a big crybaby about it again. I mean, if your parents die, then sure, you have a reason to cry, I guess. Sora and Eren this season's also pretty good. They have some good moments. Lord Raz, like, I would say, throughout Ninjago Rising, I personally haven't really liked Raz, but I will say season 3 has made me start to change my mind around. Although I still don't understand how beat Run 2, but like, then again, he has 2 soul strain icons, so I can understand it. It also made me change my mind around about his character, so I am starting to like him a bit more. Although it's kind of hopeless knowing that I'm almost certain he's going to be betrayed. My guess is he's masters the soul strain of strength. That's just a guess though. I have to do a video now if you guys want to go check that out. The whole like spookiness of this part, also the souls being drained off, and the ninjas basically having plot armor set from Cole, because Cole gets turned into a hollow spirit. He's the only ninja to be turned hollow. Maybe Zane is, but then again, I feel like this season would have been super good with Zane, because Zane technically doesn't have a soul, right? So like, I don't know why it's annoying that Zane got sent away. He would have been so helpful this season, because Zane doesn't have a soul. I mean, technically you could say he has a soul inside his machine, I guess, but he doesn't have an actual soul. He's not a living being, right? So that's kind of annoying that they send out 2 people on a team without technical souls and now they're fighting people who literally drain souls. Honestly, I feel like that's the reason they sent them off. It would have kind of interfered with the plot. But also they need to have like plot relevance, because the Dragonians just don't go for them, except from Cole, because Cole actually attacked back, which is weird. I do like the whole fight scene between Nia and Jay, and the fact that Jay and Nia came back. You see I'm mentioning Jay a lot because, like I said, big Jay fan here, so I'm happy that he's back, and this is why it's mainly top 3. Honestly, in my opinion, there's a lot of good moments in Season 3 Part 2. It beats Season 3 Part 1 by so far. It was annoying getting, like, leaks, of course. That's, like, the main downside of this. The leaks was probably the worst in Ninjago history. But all in all, Season 3 Part 2 is such a great season, in my opinion, of course. I really enjoy it. Even if the Forbidden 5 aren't much of a threat, and Thunderfang isn't really, I don't really care for him personally. I've never really cared for him. He kind of just makes the Forbidden 5 really lackeys, and it kind of annoys me. But that's the thing, like, the Forbidden 5 was set up to be some great overarching villains, and Thunderfang basically commands them and basically uses them as he wants. It's really annoying, but I'm just not going to talk about that, I guess. All in all, the season's really great, and I feel like top 3, Season 3 Part 2 is definitely top 3 part for me in general, because I really enjoyed the Season 3 Part 2. It could just be the fact that I've just watched it, and I've been talking about it consistently, but I have I've kind of skimmed through the other season parts, just obviously, get my refresh my memory on all the parts. But all in all, Season 3 Part 2 definitely deserves to be here. Like I said, there's some great moments. Cole also having a main focus, which to be fair is probably his main focus since he's been brought back. Since he's one focus episode, way back in Season 1, Part 2, like when he first gets back, he has a episode focused to himself with the Finders. Other than that, I don't really recall any Cole like moments or whatever. Cole big moments. The only one I guess is Cole vs. Frack when he ends up losing the Frack. But that's about all. He doesn't really have any big moments. I feel like Cole fans for Season 3 Part 2 are super happy because Cole actually does have a decent bit to play. And he also has some decent moments in this, my opinion. And I did like that whole argument he had with Kai, saying he's not his master stuff. I said in my initial review of this episode. But that was really cool that Kai's normally the hothead, and he does always recognize that he's the hothead of the team. But the fact that Cole literally wouldn't listen to Kai one bit, it really, like, some people could say it's out of character. I personally loved it. I'm saying this is also the reason why it deserves to be top 3. I love basically every character in the season. I love Forbidden 5 and Fun Fight. I don't really care for much. But I do love like every character in the season other than the Forbidden 5 and Fun Fight. Love the Forbidden 5's like designs or the Spectro designs. But that's about all. Another thing I will say about the season, it 100% in my opinion is the best ending to get me super excited for the next part. It could just be literally recency talking about it, but I cannot remember being this excited for a Dragon Rising season to come out. Like Season 4, I'm super excited for it. I'm not going to talk about Season 4 in here, but Season 4, I'm super excited for it right now. And I cannot wait till that whole thing. The ending put me so high with the whole Source Dragons, the powers messing up, and then being scattered across the most lands, and Raz obviously catching Wu. There's a lot that happened in like the last like 5 minutes of the episode 20. And I think it's the main one that got me excited for Season 4. And I don't remember any other Dragon Rising season getting me this hyped for a season. Now, Dragon Rising Season 1, Part 1. Honestly, when Dragon Rising first released, I was super excited. Some people hate Crystallized. I didn't mind it, but what I'm saying is nowhere near Ninjago's best. Like, nowhere near, because Ninjago's had, like, multiple technically finals, but it was nowhere near then. When the Dragon Rising came out, I was really excited. I was kind of skeptical because, of course, we know we're currently following a new protagonist. I didn't want the ninjas to just be sidetracked, which they kind of are. Like, a lot of them are sidetracked. Like, Cole and Zayn still sidetracked to this day, but, like, sidelined to this day. But some of them are obviously main. In main, they just got a rotation around it. I really did enjoy the Merge Part 1 and Merge Part 2 already, with Lloyd finally meeting Eren and Sora, and Lloyd seeing that Eren can use, Eren can kind of create his own Spinjitzu or something like that. I can't remember exactly. I did enjoy how Nia, Lloyd, and Kai are the ones that meet up first. Because if you guys don't know, like, those three are technically like siblings. But Nia and Kai obviously brother and sister. But if you guys know the fandom, especially Kai, like back in the day, Season 5, Kai treats Lloyd like a younger brother, I guess. Even though all ninjas are basically like family, but these like are the RGB, I think they're called, siblings or something. I don't know. But I did enjoy that because their dynamic are always great in my opinion. Nia and Kai are pretty great as a duo, and then you obviously got Lloyd there. I did enjoy discovering the new Master of the Wind, or Elemental Master of Wind. That was really good. The whole Rise of Destiny, we haven't seen them since Season 5, so I really enjoyed that. I did enjoy the whole Imperium thing, because honestly, Imperium feels a bit new, but it doesn't at the same time, because they do capture dragons and all that. They obviously capture Sorcerer and multiple other dragons. It reminds me of Season 8, Season 9, when they were basically, the main villains on the dragon, basically on the ninja side, was the dragon hunters. It reminds me a lot of that, so I really enjoy that all in all. Zane kind of appears out of nowhere, and we will hopefully discover that eventually. Honestly, something we still don't know about is Lloyd's vision when he ends up seeing a bunch of ninja masks. Doug White on Twitter does reveal something about Psycho, so maybe that's it. Or maybe this is a future battle that takes place. I have no idea. It's the main thing that, like, myself, I'm really hoping to find out. And yeah, I cannot wait to find out what that actually means with all the ninja masks, because it's only been season 1 since we found that, since we've obviously seen that, and it's been like 2 seasons later and we still don't know what it is about. So that is thing. I did enjoy meeting like Wildfire in this. Do we meet Wildfire in this part? I have no idea. I don't believe so. We meet Wildfire in part 2, I believe. Yeah, but Zane kind of bids out knowing just helps, and then he's kind of backtracked for like multiple things. He's just doing stuff in the like background, to be honest. This whole part was really good. Like I said, I especially enjoy the whole world building of the merge after the merge actually is established with the crossroads. The crossroads is a great place. It's also nice seeing all different kind of species. For example, you got Melopians, you got other stuff like snakes, serpentines, and stuff like that. Even gecko and monks. It's always good to enjoy them, to be honest. I enjoy seeing a bunch of them, but kind of brings me back to old seasons that we've seen. Maybe we'll see new species eventually, but I don't know if maybe Ninjago is done introducing new different species to its lore. I don't really know. But now that the merge is like kind of here, it begs the question, to be honest, what other lands will we enter? Will enter the Nether Realm again? Stuff like that. That's why I enjoyed this. Like with this, for example, if we thought we would never see Akita again, we could see Akita now that the merge is here because all the realms are connected. We don't know. It's endless possibilities of what can happen. That was the most funnest bit about Dragon Rise Season 1, Part 1, in my opinion. Of course, I did in this part, I did like Empress Beatrix quite a bit. Her fight and all that was really great. I did enjoy that. I enjoyed the lesson Season 1, Part 2. As you can tell, this is higher. But all in all, it's still a great season, and I think it deserves to be in this because as of basically when Ninjago Crystallized finished, Ninjago obviously needed a new start, a new identity, and all that. And Dragon Rising Season 1 was actually because of that identity and that brand new start. One thing I will about the season 1, I personally did not really think Lord Raz or Raz would be anything other than just Imperium's like little bodyguard or little warrior. I didn't even think of it, and obviously until we had Jordana and him basically talked about it in season 1, part 2. But it didn't cross my mind that Raz will actually be a recurring character. Back here, I honestly didn't care for him at all. I'm starting to care for him now because season 3, but at this point I did not care for him at all, and I did not realize he would actually be an important character. I thought he would just be like some one-off character who works for a villain. For example, like Pythor works for a bunch of villains, but he isn't anything significantly important. But I did not expect Raz to be some great mastermind with his master's backing and all of that. And also, he obviously helped overthrow Empress Beatrix, which we don't really learn this, but we learn next part, I believe. But either way, I just enjoyed. I was pretty shocked by that. I don't know if I'm the only one who was pretty surprised by that. I don't remember any of hindrance until Empress Beatrix locked him away. I don't remember any of him ever wanting to do his own thing or start. He was only there for what it is, and obviously he's the one who helped catch all the dragons and all that. All in all, I did not expect him to be actually a villain and someone else other than the Empress's little warrior. I was completely thrown shocked by that. I don't know if I'm the only one doing this, but I don't know if I'm the only one who was pretty surprised about Lord Raz basically, doing his own thing and setting up season 2, but I was pretty shocked. I honestly feel like season 2 part 1 has to be number 1 because honestly I had the most fun enjoying the season out of any other season. You got the Blood Moon. Cinder's honestly a great character, and I hope he comes back in season 4, but then again I don't really know if Lord Raz has any use for him. Maybe he'll join the ninjas, I have no idea. But I do like seeing the Elemental Master of Smoke back, even if it isn't Ash now, it's Cinder. So that's always nice to see. Lloyd has a bunch of visions of the Blood Moon, which is great. There's a bunch of episodes in this thing. There's also one scene with Neo basically, all the visions. You got Lloyd visions, you got Aaron visions, you got Sora's visions, you got Nia's visions, which honestly I loved Nia and Lloyd's visions the most. Nia's vision with Jay not remembering her, Lloyd's vision with Wu and Lord Raz. And then you got the whole training with the Eagle thing, with them trying to learn Rising Dragon technique to counter Shatter Spin, because obviously they get completely cooked throughout like episode 1 and 2 to get completely destroyed. The spell with Bonzo is like, I don't mind actually, because honestly I can't lie, I kind of forgot about Bonzo as a character before the season, because she was one of the finders, and then she ends up having a whole character. Basically she's like a main part of the season, which is pretty surprising. Maybe the other finders will be pretty important later on season, in later episodes or seasons, I have no idea. And all that was good with, like, Lord Rise and the fourth mask trying to hunt Bonzel, because Bonzel's a spell, and also the fact that Bonzel once met up with Ryu was really weird, but I don't mind it. And then the Mysterium things, basically you got like Gango Rio, I think her name is the Sorceress. I cannot pronounce her name. She's like, I don't mind her character, her voice is kind of annoying, but other than that, I don't really mind the character. She's the one who created Bonzo, of course. She returns quite a lot and other stuff. All in all, I did like this. This is when the Forbidden Five was like a major threat. So the whole of them were like trying to free the Forbidden Five was really bad to the ninjas, and it was like quite overwhelming a threat. You also got like in the final of the season with all the people fight. They almost stopped the ceremony and all that. And then Raz throwing his hammer at Kai and pushing him into the pool was honestly a great cliffhanger, especially Kai being thrown into Neverspace. I wish we got to see more of Neverspace, but I'm not going to complain, to be honest. Bonzo's obviously also in Neverspace, which she was decent part from the part 2, I guess. Bonzo's in Neverspace also. And then when Not gets free, basically Rise's master, I think, or someone kind of TPs him into this, teleport them to this like random location with them all surprised, and Not ends up trying to rebel against Raz. But no, this was really stupid. I don't know how this works. But Raz basically puts a control chip on him and basically zaps him. He gets zapped for disobeying Raz. Not just like, I actually love Not as a Forbidden Five member. He's probably my favorite Forbidden Five member. It's either him or Drix, 100%. There's no like discussion about that in my opinion. Also, side note, some people think this, wherever they are right now, where they get teleported to, this is where Sora, Thrak, and Wildfire are. So that would be nice. That would be weird if they end up being here, because we still don't know what this place is. If they end up being here in this realm, be quite interesting to see, because they might run into the Wolfmask Dojo, and maybe Roz left something there, or something has to do, or something there has to do with Roz's master. It'll be interesting to see in the future season, or season 4, of course. I already said in the comments, these are just my opinion I said in the video before. Leave your like ranking down below if you guys want. Obviously, you can agree with me, you can disagree. Believe what you want down below. Like I said, all these are my opinion. Just because I ranked, like, for example, season 3 part 1 like the lowest, doesn't mean it's a bad season. I obviously enjoyed watching it, but yeah, it could have been way better. Honestly, with them kind of sidelining the Forbidden Five was kind of annoying. But other than that, it was a great season. Just because I put it there doesn't mean it's a bad season. Bad season part. No, bad season 3 part 2 was way better than that. But doesn't mean it's a bad season. I think, personally, I enjoy watching all Dragon Rising seasons as of right now. I don't think there's been a bad part in general. Of course, there's some stuff in certain parts you can hate or disagree with, but the season overall is pretty nice. The season part also is pretty great, in my opinion. Just because I ranked it low doesn't mean it's bad. All in all, like I said, it's just my thoughts. This video wasn't meant to be as long. It's like, what, 30 minutes now? I did not mean for this video to be this long, but it ends up being it because certain stuff I get lost talking about other stuff. So yes, there's that. Well, without further ado, subscribe to all great stuff. I'll be talking about season 4 in future videos or theories and stuff for Soul in season 4, because honestly I'm really excited for season 4. Like I said in this video, season 3 part 2 is the one that got me most hyped and excited for the new season out of all the Dragon Rising seasons, and even for that, just that reason, it deserves to be top 3. But there's obviously other reasons that it deserves to be top 3. But yeah, I enjoyed all these seasons in general, and like I said, I got this idea from Telefishes, or I don't know if I'm saying that name right, but I got this idea from him. He's used only like 10 minutes. I definitely waffled on a bit, but without further ado, I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe, do all great stuff.